Now, I believe we are live. Welcome to
Yeah.
another episode of the V Experiment. Today, we are going to have a very, very interesting story. And by story, I'm talking about Kari. You are not a story. We are going to have with us Karine Yengo Kaisa, and she's going to tell us all about her, let's say, how's it called? Um,
Journey.
Journey, exactly, voyage
Voyage.
until now.
Yeah.
Welcome, Karen.
Thank you very much. It is such a pleasure to be on your podcast. I'll call it vidcast, right? Since it's over the web. And thank you for having me once more. It is such a pleasure, and I would just do a little introduction of myself and where I come from and my journey so far. So he's already said my name is Karen, and currently I live in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. That's in the Middle East. However, I am originally from Cameroon, in Central Africa. I spent most of my teenage life there, and after I finished studying, I started my career in business as a freight forwarder, and I just wanted more. I wanted more than what my country was offering me. I wanted more than what my community was offering me. And so I decided to take the risk of leaving my country at a very young age. I left my country at 19 years old. And then I moved to the Middle East on my own with no family, no friends. So it's been quite the journey. However, it's also been very rewarding. And I think because of that decision, that's why I'm here today having this podcast with you.
That's very, very interesting.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I didn't want to stop you. If you want to go on, go on. Please. The
Okay.
stage is yours. The
All
stage is
right.
yours. You,
So
you
I
know,
can just
you,
keep going.
yeah, whatever you want. Usually, I'm having very, very simple questions, like the
Okay.
one as I talked with you before. Who are you? Because it's a very, very interesting question about who we are.
Yeah. Okay. So I like to describe myself as a creative and a storyteller. The reason why I describe myself as such is because I believe so much in the power of storytelling. I believe so much in the stories of others. I believe so much in my story. And I feel like storytelling holds such a powerful meaning to the existence of humans as in general, and which is why it's part of my calling. That's literally how I would describe myself as a person. And aside from this, I like to see myself as a beacon of hope, because a person with a story of like mine, you don't find that every day. And I, as such, want to use my story to uplift and inspire other people who are probably from where I come from, or probably in or walking similar paths the way I did. And I think my story has been able to inspire such people. And I want to use my platform or my name or my brand as a person to inspire more people and to just educate people and create awareness on their self belief and the power of authenticity. I believe so much. I think if you believe so much in yourself, you can be able to do whatever you set your mind on, because that's literally how my story have been, and that's what I use to inspire other people. So that's me in general. And in terms of what I do as a person, so I am very much into the business world. Currently, I do business strategizing, business development for one of the biggest companies in the UAE, Emirati owned. And aside from that, I am also an author. I just recently published a new book called Crossroads, which is in the form of an autobiography mirroring my story. I decided to use my story, channel that energy to inspire more people and let my message reach more people around the world. And also, I am also a top leader. Try as much as possible to mentor other people and let's say be involved in panel session whenever the best I can. So yeah, that's literally who I am.
Okay, I have a lot of questions right now.
Okay.
Can you share some of the stories that you talked about? Because it's all about storytelling, as you said.
Yeah.
How did your story really began?
Okay.
And what was it? I don't want you to confess all the book that you read, that you
Yeah.
wrote, but
All right.
some of the things that people are going to find very interesting in order to motivate themselves. Or tell me whatever you want. I'll leave it up to
Okay.
you.
All right. So I think my journey started from a life of conformity. So I grew up in Cameroon, an African country. Basically, our culture is when you're a baby, you already have a predetermined life for you. You're supposed to go to that was my story. You're supposed to go to this school, and once you're done with this school, you're supposed to have this job, and once you're done with this job, you're supposed to get married at this age. You're supposed to start having kids at this age. So you already have a predetermined lifestyle for you, and you just have to grow up and follow the same route. And I grew up questioning a lot of that. I felt like I'm sure there is more to life. There is more to my well-being, or to me. There is more to me in life than just what I see or what I have around me. So I started breaking out of conformity by choosing the type of school that I went to, by choosing my career. Yes, of course, back then, the people in my life, they would advise me. They would say, no, you can't do this because no one has done it before. Or you can't do this because you're not meant to do this. You can't do that. You can't study this because it's a sector for men, and you're a woman. So there is no, like, after you're done studying, you won't find a job. You cannot build a career in that. So that's literally the things that I used to hear. And whenever I would hear that, I would respond, watch me do it. Watch me do everything that you've just said that it's impossible. And that's how I started breaking those rules. I'll call them rules, breaking out of conformity, choosing my own path, finding my own way, finding my own name, defining myself as a person, regardless of all what I was meant to do. So that's the beginning of my story. And from there, I knew that the message that I wanted to get across, the environment in which I was living in back then, was not enough. I did not have the tools. And back then, my country was going through a civil war. And I don't know if you know much about Cameroon. Cameroon is made up of Anglophones and Francophones. So for a long time, the Francophones have been ruling the country, and the Anglophones were not happy with it. So yeah, there's been a civil war there for the longest time. And because of that, a lot, the economy just went down and nothing was working. And I knew I had to get out. I either had to stay there and complain and and depress myself into thinking about things that I cannot control, because that's literally something that's not in my control, or I decide to get myself out the best way I can. And one day I had a conversation with my parents and I told them I would like to move to the UAE. And because I was so young back then, I needed I'll call it an excuse. I needed a story. I needed some comments to convince them to send me out on my own, because of course at the end of the day, I was still their baby daughter back then. And so my dad is a very huge advocate for education. He literally, I think I am very much interested in education and research and bookwork generally because of my dad. So I then searched online for diplomas, because I knew if I told him I had finished my bachelor's degree back then. So I knew if I told him that I was going to move to the UAE to study, it was going to work in my favor. So, and back then, because I wanted to travel out of the country, I thought if I got myself into the International Air Transport Association body, then that would, give me the opportunity to travel around the world and just, find my name, find myself out there. And so they were offering courses and they had a center here in Dubai. And I just said, yes, this is my opportunity. I picked up the phone because I was working back then and I was living in a different town. So I picked up my phone and then I called my parents and I told them I have to go and take this course because you see the economy, I cannot continue studying. And according to them back then, I was too young to build a career. So this is the only chance or opportunity that I have right now. And well, they took about a day or two to think about it. And then later on, they came around the idea, and that's how everything went smoothly. And then I moved to Dubai. And you see, when before moving to Dubai, I had this idea of this is how things are gonna go. Things are gonna work so well for me. I'm just gonna come and gonna start school. I'm gonna live in a big city. It's literally every girl's dream back then from where I come from. And I then moved out here, and that was different. Reality started hitting me. I'm not gonna talk much of it because it's literally in the book, and yeah, I actually want people to read the book. So I'm just gonna give a little bit of glimpse. So reality hit me. Like you have no one to call, you're alone, so you have to take care of yourself. You have to think for yourself right now, and then I remember at the beginning, the journey was so tough, very, very tough. However, I held on because my parents had already spent a lot of money to send me to the country, and it would be such a huge loss for them for me to just, give up and go back home, and also a loss for me, right? So I held on and I finished school, and then the school back then put me into an internship. However, I went for the internship and I faced, that was my first time. Like I used to hear of racism and discrimination, but that was my first time that I experienced something like that. And I was just taken aback by that experience that I remember getting back home that day and just crying my eyes out. Like, why do I have to be treated because I look different? Is it a sin to look different? Or, you know, why am I being treated differently? And so I just, because of that one experience, I just lost interest completely in that industry. I lost interest in the job. I told the school I'm no longer interested. I already have my certificate. I'm going to find a job somewhere else. I'm not interested in in working for this company. And I just lost interest in that industry completely. And so I remember being down for 3 days where I just locked myself indoors. I did nothing. And I was just thinking, I was like, what's the way forward? What do I do? Do I go back home with this certificate? What's it going to get me back home? What do I do? And I just decided then it's time, let's move forward. And I'm going to find a job here in this country, and I'm going to find a job in corporate. I'm not going to do nothing if it's not if it's not a corporate job. Then the people that were around me back then were mostly my kind, like Africans as well, and they had been in the country for a longer period than I did back then. And they all advised me, and they were like, there is no way you're going to get a corporate job in Dubai. And because people like yourself, people who look like us, we only get jobs in, I have nothing against these jobs, but that's the way they categorized it back then. You can only be a waitress or a cleaner in hospitality, cleaning hotels. And they were like, because you're pretty, they told me to my face, because you're pretty, I think you can be a waitress or a housekeeper. You can work in hospitality. I think that's going to work for you, because of pretty privilege. And then I looked at everything back then. I was like, what? I couldn't comprehend it. Like, I've gone to school, I've studied all this, and I already started working back then. I had the skills, so it's not like I was just new in the market, right? And I was like, so why do I have to subject myself to do this job? I mean, I have nothing against the job, but I'm qualified. I have the skills. I have everything that everyone out there has, or everyone that's working in those sectors. They have these things that I have. So what makes them so special? Or what makes the position so special that I cannot reach it? And I said no. I was adamant. I was like, no, I'm going to have a job in corporate, no matter how long it takes, no matter what it takes, I'm going to have it. And then I started searching for jobs back then. It was so tough that I left the online medium and then I started, going to offices and knocking doors and handing out my CVs. And I remember an experience. This experience, I think I'll never forget it because I walked into an office someday and the secretary, right? She's just in front of the desktop and she's typing. And I just say hi, and she looks at me and she just brushes me off without even responding. And then she continues what she was doing. And then I said, I just came to, because back then I was so naive and I just came to apply for a job. So this is my CV. And she didn't even look at me. She just collected the CV and then she kept it on the table. Then I went out and I was thirsty. God made it so, like, it was so coincidental. I was thirsty that I had to go back to ask for water. And by the time I went back, this lady was
Tearing
literally
it apart.
tearing
Yeah.
it apart and putting it in the dustbin, which was next to her. And I remember running out of there. I was thirsty back then, but the thirst immediately evaporated. And I just ran out of the office and I was crying so much. And because of that, I kind of had trauma of going to knock at other people's door to hand over my CV, right? Because of that rejection. And then I went back home and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna concentrate online. I'm just gonna search for the job. I'm just gonna send my CV like everyone else. So I downloaded like several applications here in Dubai, and then I also searched up companies. I went to their website. I was literally sending my CV to every email. I didn't even care if it was the HR or the CEO. That didn't matter to me. I was desperate, and desperate situation needs desperate measures, right? So that was what I took, and it worked out well. And then I started getting calls for interviews. And I remember the first call that I had, I was so excited. I was like, "Oh wow, they told me that I'll never be selected, and now look at this! I just got a call." And then I started attending interviews, and then the first interview that I attended back then, it went so well that the owner was willing to hire me on the spot. He literally gave me an offer. Like, I attended the interview, and by the time I went back home, I received the offer. I was so happy. And I was like, oh my God, finally my pain has come to an end. And this was after 2.5, almost 3 months of searching. I was like, oh my God, finally, I got something to do. Then I started working, right? And after the first month, he did not pay us. It was a new company back then. And back I never knew what the company, was doing at
The
the end of
background and everything.
exactly the back. But we had like a full operation. He had like a team of 15 people, and that first month he didn't pay anyone. And so I was okay. 3 months, no job. The first month with a job, no salary, right? And I told myself, okay, what do we do in this situation? Every other company that I was applying for back then, they liked me, they liked the skills, they liked what I was offering, but everyone needed UAE experience. Like, you needed to have a Dubai-based experience. And so I told myself, okay, since that's what everyone's asking, I'm just going to work for this guy for 3 months without pay, because I knew if he doesn't pay the first month, what's the guarantee he's going to pay for the next 2 months? So I'm just going to work for him and gain the experience and then just search for another job. So I kept working for him for 3 months. And I think at the third month, I was done. I was financially so down that because back then my elder brother was supporting me with finance, like my upkeep, my rent, my visa, everything. And so he also was like, no, it's been so long out there and it's difficult. So which I understood, right? Because it's literally not easy funding the lifestyle that I had back then here. So I decided to leave that job after 3 months. I then added the experience to my CV, and everything changed. Then I got my first job, and the first job I worked with them for more than 2 years, almost 3 years. And yeah, and since then, everything in the corporate world worked for me. And along the way, when I started the first job, whenever I'll meet people like myself who come from where I come from, they would say, "Oh, you're so lucky. How did you get this job?" And and while luck plays a huge role in how I got it, it's also, I believe, that it's also because of the determination, the hard work, the persistence, the consistency. Because if I gave up back then, luck would have probably been waiting for me, and then I would never get myself to that position where luck is going to meet the hard work and everything is going to work out well. So I then used to tell people, you apply, the thing where people just tell you no, they don't look at your CV. It's just a myth. It's just hearsay. It's just generalization. And why would you allow yourself to be stereotyped into a particular category? You should believe in yourself, believe in what you can do as a person, not what we can do or what people are saying you can do. Just what can you do? And I think I used that mindset, that mentality, and then it worked out great for me, I guess. So yeah, that's a little bit of the beginning for me.
I enjoy listening to you because it's very. I don't want to sound rude, but I believe you are young. You're in your mid 20s something. Okay,
Yeah.
and life is hard. The work environment is also hard, and it's not only in Dubai. It's everywhere the same.
Yeah.
And I'm smiling all the time because it's very it's giving me hope because of people like you, and like you, I mean, determined to break the narrative and to go on and to change, let's say, the world. Let's say, change the
Yeah.
world, because at the end of the day, it's. I heard you say that a lot of people from your early age were telling you that nobody else did it. It's not like this. You know, my experience about people, because we have talked about my job, that I'm educating people and business owners, and usually it's their own. I wouldn't say incompetence, but usually it's their own belief that they are afraid to try something different, and this is the more, let's say, it's the more difficult part of yourself,
Right.
the step to grow. And you made it, you did it. You tried your school where you wanted to go. You went to a foreign country, you stayed there, you got your job, and kudos to you about all
Thank you.
those things. You're
Thank you so
welcome. Now, other story that you want to talk about. What do you want to talk about? Because I have questions, and
Right.
usually I'm letting you take charge of the conversation, because
Right.
I'm going to ask afterwards. Is there something? Let's say you said something before. It's all about stereotypes. It's all about. I don't want to get on the bad side of the conversation. You seem very. How is it called in English? you seem determined,
Right.
and determination is something that most of the people lack. Determination is a mix of a lot of things. It's about how somebody looks. It's how they have been raised. It's about a lot of things, as you said, because of your
Right.
father, and because somebody said you that you are beautiful. Somebody else could tell you that you are tall, short. Everybody tells their own thing. Would you like to share something about those things, or I'm leaving up to you, Karin? Tell me what you want.
Okay. So when it comes to determination, right? I I think we are in control of how we want to be determined to do certain things in our life. I
Yes.
totally agree that your background plays a role in it. The people that you surround yourself with, your education plays a huge role in it. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to you as a person. How what do you
Only.
want? Yeah, it
Only
boils
you.
down.
Sorry,
Yes,
I'm going to interrupt you now. Only we are going to have a conversation. It's
yeah,
only about you. Go on,
yes.
please.
It boils down to you. You, what do you want? What choice do you want to make for your life, for your situation? Then, when you've made a decision, when you already have a vision of what you want to do for yourself, for your life, and for other people, then it's all up to you to determine how that's going to go. And how do you determine how that's going to go? It's through your attitude, your day-to-day life, the things that you do, your overall overall well-being, like your sense of well-being. And if you're someone who wakes up, right, and you're like, oh my God, today's going to be such a bright day. It's going to be beautiful. You already set a tone, which is like your day is going to go perfect. You're already determined, like, with a happy and joyful spirit. But if you wake up in the morning and like, oh my God, just another day. This is just another day for me to go out and deal with people, deal with traffic, deal with my doorman, you're already in your mind, you're already determined to fail because you already have these things where you've already thought this is how these things are going to work for you. However, if you that's why I said at the beginning, we are in control of whatever happens to us. You set your level of determination. If you base your mind on a certain goal, for example, I want to complete this by the end of June. You set a timeline, right? And then down the line, you realize that by the 15th of June, you cannot be able to meet up that timeline because of a certain thing or because of certain things. Then you question yourself. These variables that are currently um, disturbing me or that are currently a problem for me to get to this point, am I in control of these variables? If it's something you can control, then you go ahead and shift them, and then you set your priorities. Whichever can be able to take you to your destination, you use that route. However, on the other hand, if you realize that these variables are something that are not within my control, this is not something that I can control, then usually what I do for myself is I stop beating myself about it, and I just let nature takes its course. I do the best I can, and then I just believe that it's gonna work out anyway. Even if I don't meet that deadline, I know that there's a reason why I did not meet that deadline, and there is a bigger reason why I should postpone this project or this vision or this goal that I'm supposed to accomplish. So basically, that's, if I want to define determination, that's the way it works for me. Like, I let determination work for me. Like, I determine, what am I going to do, what am I going to achieve, who am I going to talk to? Because at the end of the day, it all boils down to us, the choices that we make, the actions that we make, the inactions that we make. Because at times we only talk about actions, actions, actions. But at times you just need to take a step back and not act. Like, just let your inaction work for you as well. So in terms of determination, I think that's what I can say in this case.
I- I'm 100% with you
Yeah.
because everybody wants to control everything, and
Yeah.
it's in order to feel safe, in order to feel empowered, in order to do whatever they want to feel. They want to control everything, and that's a very very big mistake. Uh, I read a quote like 2 months ago. It's three solutions to every problem. It says if you cannot change it, accept it. If you don't want to accept it, change it. If you can't change it, get in peace with it and go on.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
very easy. It's simple, but
Yeah.
we usually want to think more complicated. Us. I had a math teacher, like 3 decades ago. I don't remember, and he always told me the solution in every problem is to think your thoughts should be simple. If you cannot find a solution, you have to think more simple. And if you still can't find the answer, then to be the you have to have the most simplest thought that it is, because in simplicity everything is. If you stay, as you said, if you stay like calm and say, okay, can I do something to change this? Yes, no, okay, step by step you go to the answer, and it comes to you.
Right. That's
uh
literally,
yeah, please.
yeah, that's literally how it's meant to be, you know. Also in my book I mentioned that the only way to live happily is to learn to accept change. If change is coming, accept it, adapt to it, let go of the past, and move forward with courage. That's the only way you can be happy in terms of things you cannot control. Because then if you sit and you dwell on them and you dwell on it, you hold on to it, it starts weighing you down, dragging you down, and you start thinking, oh my god, I wish I could do this. No, there's nothing you can do about it. You know, just let it go and move on. Accept that there is change, accept that there is that this thing is no longer for you, and then adapt to the new possibilities. And that's how you then get new opportunities into your life. That's how you stay happy, that's how you stay contented, and that's how you just content with yourself and the world around you.
Karin, you are I'm 100% with you, but you know that human beings are very likely to grind, to be miserable,
Yeah.
only if they can if they can get their priorities straight. This means usually it's something in somebody's life that is a wake up call. It's usually something like this, because for me it was my son, as we had the discussion. But
Yeah.
for other people, there
It's
are other things. Yeah, because you understand, if you are uh, brought up in a society with a specific type of thinking, you need something life changing in order to change the way you think. And usually it's about health, or about yourself, or somebody that you love, usually.
right. Right.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true. I think, yeah, we all experience that life-changing moment for us, right? Where
Yeah.
it's like it something happens to you or to someone close to you, probably a loved one, and then it immediately changes your outlook on life, your outlook on things. And I totally agree, honestly, with this point, because if I really want to reflect back, I think it was the same with me. The same thing. I 2 3 years ago, actually, I already explained the story of how I got myself here. So it got to a point that I think I would, if you would have asked me back then, I would have proudly told you I am so successful at this young age. I have this, I have stable this, I have the savings, I'm helping these people, I own these things, and all of those material things and all of those the position, the little success that I had back then, I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. This is my life. I'm living my dream life at such a young age, right? And I then was arrogant, I would say. I was very arrogant and cocky back then, like, so
I would
cocky,
say young.
young
It's
and
one.
stuff.
It's one of the same.
Yeah, so I was exactly that. And then I woke up one day. It didn't just actually wake up one day, it's like 6 months of my life. I faced challenges where I started losing everything, one after the other, one after the other. The things that I set to define what success meant to me became the things that kind of drew me like into a very, very, very dark space because I started losing those things. I started losing my control. I started losing the people in my life. And I literally left a position of 1,000 to zero, within a period of 6 months. And because of this experience, I sat down and I thought to myself, how did I get here? What happened? Like, and then I had to go deep, deep within me. I had to go find the Karine who started out here in Dubai. That determination, that softness, that youth, that I would say purity, without the arrogance, the humility, the compassion person. Like, where did I go to, right? And I had to I had to question all those things. And then I woke up and said, no, I'm going to rise again. But this time around, I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to be a person that people can look up to, not a person that can be proud to other people because of what they have or what they've achieved or who they are. No, I didn't want those things to be part of who I am anymore. And I think because of that one experience, it changed my mindset, changed my framework. I literally had to lay the foundation on my rock bottom. And that foundation is what you see today. This person who has, I'm not saying I have it all together. No, I'm not perfect. My life is not all that, but I am happy with what I have right now. I'm happy with who I am right now. I'm happy with what I do, and I'm happy with my purpose on this earth. And I think that's the most important thing for me. And if you ask me what is success, I would say being able to wake up and inspire other people, being able to help someone who is finding it hard and making a certain decision, being able to just be myself, to live in my truth, to be my authentic self. And because of that, people message me, oh, you inspire me because of this. So all of that, right, is as a result of the foundation that I laid during that period of my time, during that period of my life. So yeah, that's just in agreement to what you said. Yes, we all need that moment, the life defining moment for us, right? And I know you already mentioned about your son to me, but I would like if you could share that as well. Like, how was that for you, and
So
how that
for me,
changed? Yeah.
uh, I was also on a podcast with Bart Tavernier, and I said the same thing about it was my moment. My oldest son is now 20, and
Yeah.
he's in the spectrum of autism. And I, like 20 years ago, people didn't know a lot of things about this. We didn't know about those things, and it was the first time in my life because I was due to uh, I was an athlete, pro athlete. I was My mentality was I can do everything that I want to do, as you say, uh, with hard work and continuity, and I have to be there, present every day, every hour, and uh, the fact that I had something in front of me that nobody could tell me if it could be right or not, if somebody can get better or not. They didn't know what we should do, how it became, and it was the unknown. Because if you know something, there, I have a very, very specific mentality. Everybody, as you said, everybody can achieve everything. Everybody.
Yeah.
You need hard work, not smart work, hard work.
Yeah.
Smart work comes after 10, 20 years of hard working.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that young people don't understand. I'm working smarter. No, first you
No.
need to work hard in order to get the knowledge, and then,
Work
because
smart.
it's math. It's,
Yeah.
you can learn things in a specific time, even if
Yeah.
it's 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It's not something that I made up.
True.
And that was the time that I said, okay, I'm going to try help people. I'm going to try to make society a better place. I'm going, and it's all started in in our apartment with my wife and my younger son, who is 19 years old. They have 13 months younger is my youngest son.
Okay.
And I started from my home, my complex, the school that the kids are over. I was talking with children, with parents, with everybody. I was in the PTA, and I started talking. Now I'm talking to Greece, throughout the whole Greece, in schools. Half an hour, 35 minutes from the tipping point of education, which is something that I'm trying to do. It's because of what I feel that I have to give back. But at the end of the day, it's as you said, it's all about experience. It's about not being cocky. It's not about being it's me, 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 me. No,
Yeah.
together we can do a lot of things. And I believe your book, because we didn't talk a lot about your book, how this
Right.
went, uh,
Right.
is a very, very good example. Although people are going to say, um, everybody has a target group. You know about this in marketing. Everybody has got a target group. I'm not
Okay.
one of those, because I believe a mentor can be somebody that is 3 years old or 103 years old. It's
True.
not about the skin color, because I've
Yeah.
worked in Europe. I've worked in hospitality in Greece. I'm a trainer, and I worked with people from all around the world, and I had people from all around the world as guests.
Right.
The, the Greek hospitality says, in order for me to have you as a guest, I need to know about what you like and what you dislike. This means I need to know about your culture. I need to know about your country. I need to know about your what you eat, your religions, what you eat, what you don't eat. What is I had an example about handshaking, which is something that if a wife in the Muslim country is, yeah, I know all of this stuff because I wanted to be a good host. But at the end of the day, it's all about becoming better and learning things every day.
Right.
Now, it's not about me, as you know. Uh, Tell me about your book.
A book.
How's it called?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the title is Crossroads: When Change Brings Courage. And basically, you remember the story I just recounted of how I lost everything, right? So writing the book for me was some sort of healing. Like I was healing from the old me, and I was shading those layers and breaking them down. And I wanted to build a new foundation. And writing this book did exactly that for me. So I recounted my experience in the book. It's currently structured into two parts. The first part is about my story, my background, where I come from, and how I've gotten myself to this position. And then the second part of the book speaks on five topics, which are risk taking, self esteem, procrastination, finding the right career, and your social capital. Your social capital is more of the people that you surround yourself with, because that's very, very important. The people in your circle, the people that you look up to, your friends.
Everything is important,
Exactly.
but
So, so
as
yeah,
you say, please.
the first part is, yeah, more about me and where I come from, an autobiography. And then the second part is from a more general perspective. I took into consideration the ideas of other people as well, like other authors that are quoted in the book, people that are authors that I've read their work and I look up to, and also a little bit of research. I spoke to a few people and got the idea of what they think of those topics. So it's much more from a general perspective. And usually, for me, someone who is 26 years old currently, I wrote the book I started writing when I was 24, 23, 24. And the question that I would get back then is, you're so young, how can you write an autobiography, right? And it's also one of the challenges that I faced at the beginning of my career, where I would be told you're too young to handle this, you're too young to handle that, and then I would have to prove myself. Like, no, yes, I am young, but I have what it takes, right? Which then brings us back to determination, the topic we just covered. Like, I have what it takes, and I'm going to prove it to you. And with the book, when people said this, I think with one person, I just one day had a coffee with them, and then I explained everything, just a little glimpse of my life, and they were like, "Oh my God, so you've experienced this?" And I was like, "Yes." Which is the same for everyone out there. You look at people, you don't know the experience, you don't know their story, and
No
you don't
worries.
experience, you don't know their story, you don't know anything at all about them, and then you just judge them, right? You're too young, you're too old, you're too this. And
It's a characteristic of human beings to judge because it's
yeah,
easier to judge than to act.
than to understand. Yes, sure. Than to take the time and actually listen and to actually understand people. So
Correct.
I did not let that stop me at all. I just kept writing, and I told them, I told, like, whenever anyone would question my decision of putting out a book, the first question that I asked was, okay, when should I write an autobiography then? Then they would go, oh, when you turn 40 or 50 years old, that's a good time to recount your life. And then I would ask them one question, which is, can you guarantee me that I'm going to get to 40? And then there would be that silence. Can you guarantee me that I'm going to get to 50? There would be that silence. So you don't know. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what's going to happen the next 5 hours. So why not just then I would go, why not just write the book? If I want to write a book, I'm going to write it. And because I believe so much in storytelling, like I mentioned earlier, I know that my story is going to reach the people who actually need it, and those people are the ones that I've written the book for. So yeah, that's the little bit I can tell you about the book so far.
Fantastic.
And the reason why I choose Crossroads is because when people hear Crossroads, they're like, okay, Crossroads is such an intriguing topic, right? You don't know what to expect. It's because in my life I've faced a lot of crossroads, as have everyone. But what I recognize is the fact that not many people are able to realize that that's actually a crossroad. At times you're in a particular position and you have two to three, four choices, right? And you must make one choice. Must. You don't have a choice, you have to make one decision. And whatever decision you make during that point is going to literally change your whole life. So I've had that. So many people have their own crossroads. And each time I would make a decision, it's like I open a new window, a new door to different possibilities, to different different means for me to try again. And it's not like all the decisions I've made have always been positive or have always been about opportunities. No. At times I've opened a certain door and I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I make this decision? Right? But that's the whole beauty of life. Like, you don't know what to expect, but you have to make it anyway. And the whole point of me sharing my own crossroads is because I want people to know that it's not always perfect. It's not always going to be easy. Like you said, life is hard and it's hard for everyone. There is not one single person that you're going to meet who's going to tell you, you know, I'm having it easy, like everything is working well for me. No, every person that you know have a problem at their level, right? Which is difficult for them to maneuver. But you know what? They keep going at it. They wake up every day and it drives them and it gives them motivation and they keep going and they never stop. And that's what my book is about. My book is not about perfection. No, I'm not a perfectionist. I have so many flaws. It's about this is who I am, self acceptance. This is who I am. This is my story. This is my journey. I'm not going to cancel the past, but I can let the lessons or my experience from my past teach me or guide me to my future. And I'm not going to let that draw me aback or put me down or determine what I'm supposed to do with my life. No, I am in full control of what I can do for myself and for the people around me. And also, a huge part of why I decided to write a book is because I woke up and in my life and I realized that I needed a purpose. I want to have a purpose. I don't just want to receive from the universe. I don't just want to receive from people. I don't just want to receive from my job. I want to give. I want to be valuable. I want to give out back to the ecosystem. I want to impact people. I want more people to wake up and be happy and look at themselves and be proud of who they are, be proud of what they have, you know. I don't want people to feel down or depressed or rejected or feel like they're a failure. No, because no one is. We've all failed at one point. I don't even call them failures. They just
It's a
redirection.
word. It's a word. Okay,
It's
everybody
just a
fails.
word, right? Exactly. At the end of the day, it's up to you to make it into an experience that's going to work for you. So that's what my book is about, and that's why I'm so passionate about it. I can literally go on and on and on about why I wrote the book, and yeah, so that's a
I want.
summary.
I wanted to ask you if you want to give an advice to younger people like yourself and younger, but you just the last 5 minutes where all it is about life and how they should continue uh, doing whatever you want to what do I
To
go after your dreams, but hard work. I always put
hard
the
work.
hard work
You know,
hard work at the side.
I want to actually you mentioned something earlier about the difference between hard and smart work, right? It's actually coincidental because I think we spoke about this a week ago, and a few days ago I shared it also on my Instagram. And because there's so many people who have the two concepts misinterpreted, I would put it that way, where you wake up one day and fresh out of college with no skills and no experience, and you're like, I want to work smart. How do you want to work smart? With what? Right? So, and I just tell people, for you to get to a level where you can say, yes, I'm working smart, you needed to have worked for a very long period of time. You needed to have you needed to put in hard work, and that's hard work, right? The determination to put in the hard work, to go at it every day, to not give up, to face rejection, to face the failures, and to listen to people who would tell you it's not possible. And you still, despite all of that, you still choose to move forward and say, no, it's possible. It's, in fact, the word impossible has possible in it. So So it's possible for me. So when you do all of that, it then builds your character, right? You then have this resilience which you can overcome anything. Like if they put you in a position of power and they took away that power, because of the resilience that you built during hard work, you can be able to get that power back. And that's what hard work does for you. In addition to smart, I will take a good example of this AI, right? The technology.
Mhm.
Nowadays, everyone is using AI and it's good, it's helping everyone, it's smart.
But
However, for
yeah,
AI to have gotten to this position, do you know how many years in the making, how many testings, how many people, how many, there's just so much that's been done in the background that's not being covered, right? Do you know what it took for them to discover this technology? Like it's been years and years and years and years of working, and now you just put a prompt and then you have the results. How did that happen? The reason why you have that smart technology is because there are people who worked hard for it. They put in the work, the sacrifice, they went sleepless nights. They
and
were they were
years.
years, exactly, decades. So before you arrive at smart, you need to work hard. And that's literally what I've done. And that's literally what any other person in your life, like someone, example, if you're asked, how did you get to this point where you're helping so many people in business? It's going to be, your response is going to be, because I worked hard. You worked for 20, 25 years of your life dedicated to a particular profession. So of course you're gonna have something that you can teach in 5 minutes. But you didn't just get here, right? You put in so much investment, so much sacrifice, so much determination, hard work. And it's something that I want to tell a lot of young people nowadays. Yes, there is increase, like there's an increase in the use of technology everywhere, but you still need to know how to use the technology as a tool, right? And for you to know how, you need to practice, and practice takes time. Practice needs patience. Practice needs determination. You also need to put in time to learn how to use it the right way, ethically, and in a sustainable way. So everything, for you to get to smart, you need to work hard. And that's one very important message I think is lacking in a lot of young people nowadays. And usually when they approach me and they're like, okay, how did you get here, I tell them it's sacrifice. When I was writing my book, there was a period where I went for a staycation, and the hospitality broke my laptop, and it was on charge. So everything in the laptop fried. And then I lost the script. And I locked myself for 3 days because I told myself, if I let this script die, that's the end of this book. I'm not going to get the same determination. And I typed and I got back an even better script. However, in that process, I had nosebleed. I was bleeding. My nose was bleeding, but I was just like, the ideas were there. As a creative, you just have to get it out on paper. And I did work hard, very, for the book to get out. It took 2 years, 3 months. So when people see a finished product, they're like, oh my god, you did it. No, that's 2.5 years of my life. That's it in the little book that you see, right? So everything, you need to work hard in order for you to get a system, a procedure, or a technique that's going to work smart for you. Hard work leads to smart work. So, yeah, that's one message that I would like to pass to young people. That's the first. And the second is, which is very, very important, as you start your life, or as you change the course of your life, or as you progress in life, you realize that there are a lot of people out there who will tell you it's impossible. It's not possible. You cannot do it. You're too young. Who do you think you are? Why are you here? These questions are going to come. But I want you to also know that you're going to meet a lot of people who are going to be willing to help you without you even asking or even stressing about it. They're going to be willing to guide you. They're going to be willing to mentor you. They're going to be willing to support you. It's going to be surreal to you so much so that you would sit and reflect and say, why did that person help me? There are many people out there just like that. And I want you to let the good people overcome the naysayers. The naysayers are going to be there. Trust me. Even in your own circle, people are going to doubt you.
Sorry,
But
sorry.
no problem.
In any year,
Yeah.
I'm 47. I have the same conversations with people that are 50, 55, 30, 20. Why are you doing what you're doing? It's not going to give you any money. It's not going to do you this, that. It's not about the age. It's about those people are those people who are negative, and they are
Yeah.
going to be there. As
Yeah.
you said, either your family or
Yeah.
whatever, friends.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be there, so many of them. But also, there are also going to be so many who'll be willing to support you. Even people you do not know, strangers who've never heard of you, they're going to be willing to support what you do. They're going to be willing to stand up for you. So I want you to let the positive people overcome the naysayers and the negative people. And if you want to, and it's not a way of judging the negative people, because if you want to really dig deep down to question why they're negative, at the end of the day it might not even be about you. It's not even about
No,
you, right?
no,
It's probably they're dealing with their own struggles and they don't know how to channel that. They don't know how to deal with it, and the only way they know how is to be negative. And I believe that someday they would wake up and change, because a person is not negative for their whole life. I don't think I've seen someone that's been negative for their whole life. I don't know about you, Kyriakos. I don't know if you've met people who are negative for their whole life, because it's, I don't know.
it's as I always say, it's the positivity of the youth that believe that people change. I believe
Yeah.
this, but not everybody. And
Okay.
your work is not to save everybody.
Yes.
I always say my job is to. I can only change my actions, nobody else's. If I'm who I am, because it's the third law of Newton, I believe, where there is an action, there's a reaction, and it's something like this. And I believe if my actions are positive, I'm getting positive back. But there's also people who don't want to change. They cannot have the capacity. They don't have the knowledge. They don't want to change.
Yeah.
But it's okay with me.
True.
It's okay if you change one perspective of one person in order for them to become better. It's okay for me.
Yeah. One person at a time, right?
One person at a time.
Yeah.
Now, Karin, it's been
Yeah.
an hour, if you noticed.
Oh my God! I just noticed actually.
Thank you very much for your time. Um, if you want to say something to the audience, please, the mic is yours. And yeah, you said something. I'm giving you like 30 seconds in order to think something. You said something about AI. And on the 3rd of September, we are going to have a masterclass in Athens
Okay.
with 5 professionals. It's me and another 4 that we are going to talk about AI and tourism. And yeah, because we are working on AI, the 3 people, 2 people are AI hardcore, and the one is branding marketing. And it's all about, you said about AI. Yeah, I've been working in AI like chatbots from 2018. I've put the questions and the answers in the chatbots.
Yeah.
And I say it's all about spreading knowledge and discussing and having conversations in order to become better.
True.
But it was very nice talking to you.
Same here. Yes.
And thank you very much for your time. Would you like to share something at the end?
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. It means so much to me, And I totally loved this conversation because we've covered such a good huge topic. And I hope this message can be able to reach the right people who need it the most. Because at the end of the day, it has to be people who need it. And it just and really, I wanted to take a moment to appreciate you and what you do. I think it's very, very amazing. And
Thank
with me, I know you just mentioned that if you can change the perspective of one person at a time, it's enough. And with me, you've done that. So I can just imagine the countless number of people out there that you give them hope, you inspire them to just be themselves as well, and do what they have to do. And it's you inspire me. I'm inspired literally by this conversation. So again, thank you once more. And to everyone who's listened to this, thank you very much for listening to us. And we are both available if you want to talk about anything, if you have any questions. And yeah, I think that sums it up.
Now, thank you for being with us,
Yeah.
with me having the conversation. And you're going to find Karen's everything Instagram in the comments down in the section. Thank you very much for this conversation and enjoy the rest of your day.
Yay. Thank
Bye
you. Bye,
bye.
guys.